Hey guys, Scott here. Today we're going to talk about branding in Microsoft 365. So we're looking at something a bit graphical, and when we talk about branding here, we're talking about your company image. Everybody that has a 365 tenancy can brand it, and we can brand a number of different parts of 365. So we can create a theme that applies to all users. We can change how that user's name presents when they're logged into their 365. And we can also change the logon screen to 365, not just graphically where we can change the background and logos in there, but we can even add our own links and our own text on those login screens to stick with your company's branding and make it look consistent across the board. So let's dive in and have a look how we do that. So here we are in our 365 tenancy. This is my dev tenancy here. And the first thing we're going to have a look at is how do we change the default theme in our 365 tenancy. So I'm just going to go into, this is our admin tenancy. So you need to be logged in as an administrator to be able to do this. So it's admin.microsoft.com. And we're going to go into settings here. And we're going to go into organizational settings. And then once we're in organizational settings, we're going to go to organizational profile, and here we can change our custom theme. So let's click in here and add a theme. So a couple of things just off the box. We can prevent users from overriding their themes. Anybody that's used 365 may have seen, let's just quickly dive into portal.office.com. When we're in here, we can click the little button here and change our theme to make this look how we want and personalize it if we want to. By choosing this option here, prevent users from overriding, it means they'll always have your company branded theme. So it gets rid of those fun themes and personalization options. So let's turn that one on. And then the other thing we can do here, at the moment, we'll see where I'm logged in. We can see my icon up here. We can also turn on the user's, the username. So if we do that, turn that on, let's just refresh in here. We'll now see it says my name up here as well. If your name is longer, it will concatenate it. So we can turn those both on and off. Next up though, let's have a look here. We've got logos. So your default logo is the logo that will appear up here. And if we click on this little button here, it tells us what size our logo is allowed to be. And we'll see here it's 200 by 48. And that can be a PNG, a GIF, a JPEG, or SVG. So SVG is a vector style graphic. So 240 by 48. And that will pump that up at the top corner of your browser up here, and that'll appear on all the bars. And you'll notice it's asking for a URL. We can though upload, and if we choose upload, we can browse. So let's quickly, we'll just knock something up. Okay, so we've made an image. Let's now just upload this. So we're going to go to here, upload, and here's our demo image. We're going to press open, and we've got an error. So the image must be less than 10 kilobytes. So looking on my other screen now, I can see this image is actually 12 kilobytes. So let's just quickly do this. We're going to go to Google, and I'm going to do a ping compressor. Now obviously only ever use tools like this online if you're happy sharing those files online, because other people may have access to them. So I'm just going to download that quickly. Okay, so now we've downloaded that. That's actually compressed that down to 6 kilobytes. So let's give that another go. We're going to browse, and there's our minimal one. Open. Done. So it says demo 365. We can put an alternative logo on there for Office dark themes and darker brand colors. Now that's fine if we were giving people the ability to change their theme. It's not a problem right now. And then here, if we click on the logo always usually takes you back to your 365 homepage. You can, within your theme, actually go, well, actually, I want people to go to my company website when they click the logo. So let's just put my personal site on here a second. And we'll save that. That's done. So we'll see here, this is black. We're going to use my favorite color here. We're going to replace this with the hex code for the same yellow that I use. That's a big fan of using the yellow. It doesn't like white text on yellow. So we're going to put in, instead of full, which turns it white, we're going to go all the zeros, which makes it black. It's quite happy with that. And then for my accent color, because this is a demo, we want it to be quite garish. I'm going to go for a red here, and this hex code should give us the red. Yeah, we're fine. Press save. And we have now, so in our general, we've prevented our users from overriding the theme, and we've turned on to show the user's name. We've added our own logo, and we've put a link when we click that logo, and we've branded the colors as well. So that's everything done for our company theme. Let's go over to our portal.office.com and refresh and see what it looks like. And there it is in all its bright yellow glory, and we can see the red that it's done here. And we've got the red on the waffle menu, so all of my buttons and things now will be red when I'm moving around and using things within 365. So that's the company theme. Now the next part of 365 that we can brand is the logon page. And if we look here, we can log on to 365. This is the standard login, so this kind of pink to green hue. We've got the Microsoft logo on here and a couple of extra bits and pieces. This whole thing is completely brandable. Let's have a look to see how we do that. So once again, back in my 365 tenancy here, let's just close these down. I'm going to go to a new tab here, and I'm going to go to Entra. So entra.microsoft.com. Now Entra is what used to be called Azure, or Azure, however you pronounce that. And yeah, we can get to entra.microsoft.com here, or we can go into our settings. Let's close this, and under admin centers, we've got identity here, and if we click identity, it'll take us to the same place. So it takes us into Entra here. So 365 is all the productivity tools, like your files, your folders, your emails, your SharePoint, your Teams, and all the things that you do for that productivity suite in the cloud. Entra is your Active Directory, so it's your users, your identity, the logons, and all the parts that go with it. And in here we can, this is where we can manage things like 2FA, groups, the kind of access that people have, conditional access, and all of those things. But also within here, if we just search up here and type in branding, we can jump straight to company branding. Now company branding, we've got the default sign-in experience, which we can modify if we want to. So this is our default sign-in here. We can also change it based by browser language, but what we're going to do is have a look at the default sign-in. So let's go into here and customize, and we're going to see this screen here. So this screen will allow us to update the basics, so what we see in the background, the layout, the header, the footer, the sign-in form, and then we can review it and test it. What we're going to do, we're going to go through each one bit by bit. So first off, we want a fav icon. If we click the little eye here, the fav icon is what appears in the web browser. So when we save things as a bookmark, or when so the little icon we see here in our tabs as we're moving around. This has to be 32 by 32. It can be a ping, preferred, JPEG or JPEG. So, maximum file size as well, 5 kilobytes. So quickly, I'm just going to make a 32 by 32 file. Okay, so we've made ourselves a quick fav icon at 32 by 32. Let's open that up. That file's 4 kilobytes, so it fits within the 5 kilobytes. That's fine. We can then do a background image. So the background image can be 1920 by 1080. So that's a HD picture, and that can be a ping or JPEG, but it's got to be less than 300 kilobytes. So I would stick with a JPEG here. So I'm just going to quickly make one of those now. Okay, so we've made an image. It's under 300 kilobytes. Let's just quickly pick that up now. Cool, that's absolutely fine. And then we want to, it's asking us what's the default color of the background. So this is what shows, if we weren't having that image, we could just do a block color as the background instead. Again, I can just put that hex color in, and that's ready to go. Now, before I go to next layout, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press review and create. So it tells me what we're going to do. I'm going to press create, and it's going to upload those images for me. We can now see what that looks like. So if I go back to our web browser, and let's try this, administrator at ysngw.onmicrosoft.com. Here we go. So we can now see we've got our branded background. Now there's a couple other things we can see on here. We want to try and see if we can change this Microsoft logo. We've got a header and footer down here as well. So let's just have a look, see what we can do. Let's go back in and edit this. So let's go to our next page, our layout. Now on our layout, we've got hide header or show header. We've got show footer and hide footer. So let's turn everything off. So we could see our footer was there. Let's do a partial screen background a second. So I'm going to review and save. Let's see what that looks like. Let's copy this so I don't have to use it again. Just refresh, paste. There we go. So this is what it looks like on the side here. That means we could have something a bit more informational on the picture here if we wanted to. Let's go back and play with some of those settings again. Full screen, we're going to turn a header on, we're going to turn a footer on, review and save. And then let's have a quick look. And here we can see the footers down here with our terms of use and privacies and cookies. And we've got a header up here, but there's no logo. So let's have a look and see what we can do with those. So I'm going to go back into edit, and we've got our layout, which we've just had a look at. In our header, we can now upload a logo. So 245 by 36, maximum size of 10 kilobytes, and a transparent ping or a JPEG file. So let's just quickly do one of those. Okay, so let's grab our banner. That is less than, so they've obviously stretched it here, just how this browser is saved, but let's just save this and have a look to see what that looks like. So once again, I'll copy this, refresh. There we go. So we can see it's put our little logo in the header up here. I'm not a fan, to be honest. I don't think it needs to be there. There's no kind of banner color here either. And I think if we can change the icon here, it's irrelevant it be in there. So let's just go back and edit this again. I'm going to go into header. In fact, I'm going to turn the header off so it's gone. Let's then look in the footer. So in the footer, we can show privacy and cookies, and we can show terms of use. So this is our terms of use. This is our privacy and cookies. We can change what that text is. So this is a link, and this is another link. And then let's just review and save that one. Obviously we wouldn't use those links. The idea of this is you would be able to use those links for company important links like terms of use or privacies and cookies. So let's just refresh here. Cool. So we can now see this is a link, this is another link. So the idea is you use them for terms and conditions, privacies and cookies, but you can have those links to be anything we want. You'll notice also there's a little 3 dots. This is like a help thing. Brings you up here. This is if someone was having problems signing on, they can share this detail with their IT provider. So we can have that footer there and have anything we want there. They don't have to be privacy or terms and conditions. For now, what I'm going to do though, I'm going to go back into edit, and I'm going to turn the footer off. I don't want it. Last option on here is you can have custom CSS, and when we have a look on here, there is CSS that you can use. CSS, if you're a web developer, there will be classes that you'll be able to pick up. There are some great white pages out there from Microsoft that tell you what classes you're allowed to use, what you can change and what you can't change, and you can really sculpt and change what that login page is going to look like. Not one for today though, we're trying to keep things really simple. So we've looked at header, we've looked at footer. Let's now just look at the last bit, so the sign-in form. The banner logo is 245 by 36. Well, that's dead handy. We've already got one of those. So let's grab that one, 245 by 36. Done. a square logo for a light theme and a dark theme. And you'll note when you click on the little eye here, it does say to you, you only need to include a dark one if you think that your logo is not already going to look good on a dark background. So dark blues, dark blacks. There's no need to upload a separate one if not. Sizes on here, 240 by 240. So let's quickly get those made. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these in here, 240. Once again, my image is too large. So my 240 is 65 kilobytes. It needs to be 50. So let's use that ping compressor again. So there's our 240 minified. Open that one. Pop the same one in the bottom just so we can see what it looks like on the browser here. Then we've got what's our username text. So this is when someone's logging in, what do we recommend they do? So if you're a custom domain, let's just put, so you put like user at, what's your domain name? So in here, I'm just going to put customdomain.com. And here we can change the sign-in text that appears on the page as well. So which makes it a little bit bigger. Let's just look at the content that explains to us how we can use this. Now there's some, there's actually a rendering error on the screen here. We shouldn't be seeing the HTML here, but what we can see is, it warns us don't put any sensitive info here because anybody will be able to see it. We've got 1024 characters maximum, and we use the following syntax to format the text. Now this is kind of like markdown here. So for bold, we're double wrapping with stars, or we can underscore. We've got italics, we can use single stars or underscore. So let's try that out. Let's go into here and go star. This is a demo tenancy. So there's our bold. And then we're going to say, please only use this for client demos and training. Now you could put anything you want on here. You could have security information on here. You could have information about your company. You could have support links on there. We did spot on here as well. If you wanted to put a hyperlink on there, you can use hyperlink with the text and the link within. So we've got this example here. So if you've got a link, like a mail to link or a telephone number for your IT support, for people to be able to raise support because they've not been able to log in, you can put anything you want on that custom message that your users will see, and that'll appear on that login screen for you. Some people use it to put a little bit of a policy on there, so a security policy by logging on. You ensure you're on a safe machine, those sorts of things. Down here we've then got a setting for self-service password reset. Now this can be used, obviously 365's got its own self-service password reset. Some people do use third-party tools as well, and that third-party tool, by turning this on, we can have a button on here that could actually farm that off to a different tool, something like Manage Engine or something. This is where we'd put that URL in, and we can put some details on here about what's going to happen when they click that link. For my example here, we're just going to turn this off though. So we've now we've put a banner logo in, we've put a so the square logos on there as well. We've got a hint for when we're logging on, and then we've got some text to say something to that person when they're logging on. So let's save this, and then let's go to here and give it a whirl. Boom, there we go. So we can now see we've got our background that we put on here, it's branded. We've got our Demo 365 logo on here, and here is that. This is a demo tenancy. Please only use this for client demos and training that we put in there, and it did do it in bold by wrapping it in those stars. The people would then log on and do what they need to do, and we've fully branded our 365. Now, there's one other place that we can have a look at for that branding and where that works as well. So when we branded and we put the logo in here, the other place that would have happened is when we did our theme and we set up our company logo. Let's just have a look when I open a new tab now. There's our company logo. It appears directly within 365. So we're in Bing. Because it knows we're logged in, it's actually going to appear on our Bing browser as well, so on our homepage. So it's just an extra value add here where we can see, we've got our logo up here just to bring that branding in, that when people first open their web browser in the morning and they've logged in, they can see it's all company branded as well. Finally, that will also appear on any Windows machines that have been joined to your Entra ID. So they've got the 365 account bound to their Windows login. That same logo will appear in the start menu as well. So there we have it, guys. We've just had a look at how we can brand and theme a 365 tenancy. So if we just go through a bit of a recap there, we had a look at how we can add a company or corporate theme to our 365 and ensure that users can't override that with their own one if they wanted to. And then we looked at how we can theme the logon page of 365 and add important links and messages on there for people that log on. If you find this useful, please like, subscribe, follow me on my social networks, and always remember, be excellent to each other.